All right, then some belated thoughts on the Boks against the Barbarians. Yeah, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. Tell me what you think or what you thought of that absolute washout in Cape Town, and fair play. First thing I want to say is fair play to everybody that went to that match. In contrast, and it's quite unusual for me to say so, but the weather in the UK is roasting hot, hence the vest. So my apologies for the pasty white shoulders being out on show again. But thank you for watching, and I'll go through some of my thoughts. I've watched this in full now. I was playing a rugby game yesterday. I'm going to be travelling to Australia with a rugby team on a bit of a charitable tour, and that's what team I was playing with yesterday. Consequently, I was at a function last night, wasn't able to watch the BABAS Springbok game in full, but I've watched it now and I've got some thoughts. And I've just noticed, that's my scar from yesterday. That's how hot it was. It was like playing on a South African pitch up north yesterday. It was like concrete. In fact, that my little grass burn is almost in the shape of Africa, almost. Anyway. I'll get that out of the way. You don't want to look at that. 54-7 it finished. Although I said it was the Boks against the Barbarians. Of course, strictly speaking, this was the Barbarians against the Boks, because they were the home team, weren't they? And you know what? Let's talk about the occasion first. I'll get into the performance, and really the only thing worth dissecting in terms of performance is how the Boks played, and where this leaves them going into the games against Italy and the Rugby Championship, and where they're at in 2025. Because for the Barbarians, it was a scratch team pulled together, a lot of big names, but fundamentally, the Barbarians is always about pulling together a team and just having a bit of a go. The conditions didn't allow for that, and also possibly the worst team to play in terms of playing flair is the Boks, because they're just going to grind you into paste with pure power, which is what happened. And actually, the Barbarians have got a really good record against South Africa down the years, but this was one-way traffic. But like I say, fair play to everybody that went out in the pouring rain in Cape Town and made it a spectacle. And one thing, so I loved, in the UK, there was just the coverage from Supersport relayed on Sky Sports in the UK. I love the amount of focus that Supersport put on the Barbarians in the build-up to this match. It's really good. They get it, because it would have been so easy just to go, right, first game for the Boks of 2025, let's just talk about the Boks. And that would have made total sense for a South African audience. And I just love that they paid proper respect to the institution of the Barbarians, which is such a special thing. So fair play and well done to everyone involved in that. There was loads about the Barbars in the build-up, you know, educating people that might not know why this game matters, why it's important, honouring the institution. And I also loved the little like Formula One style grid walk through a beer tent. That's Barbarians rugby right there. So fair play. And a lovely touching tribute to Cornel Hendricks as well. And Peter O'Mahony played his last game of rugby, and he did it with a moment of class before the game started, presenting that jersey to the family of Cornel Hendricks, mother in tears, not a dry eye in the house. Really, really touching moment. And a flyover as well. I've seen two flyovers in my games, the games I've watched in South Africa, one in Johannesburg, one in Cape Town. I'm going to be back in Johannesburg and Cape Town for the Australia matches in August, and I'm hoping that there's more flyovers there as well, please. I just love it. And Jean de Villiers with the more planes than Heathrow. wouldn't be a Bok game without a plane somewhere, and pyrotechnics as well. How much smoke do you need in a stadium? Yeah, then we get onto the actual game itself, and overall the Boks looked really good, didn't they? Some superb individual performances. Hard to know how much to read into this one, because it was a Barbarians team who they handily beat. But just confirmation that there is crazy depth. And Lou Diaga being back is a massive one. Him, Etzebeth, Sneeman, Mostert, Norkia, Visa, Peter Steph Toy can slot in there, and that's not even getting down the depth chart to Salman Murat or even Dave Ribbons, who would be available as well. But I don't think they need him. Jean Klein, how can I not mention him? He played in this game. Ridiculous levels of depth. 5-3 split, we thought, from Rassie Erasmus. Thought, oh, God, Rassie's going back to a 5-3. No. Dr Rassie's going to Dr Rassie, still a 6-2. Andre the Giant. There was actually a comment in a video the other day. I was talking about Andre Esterhazen and how if he'd been English, the guy would have, I don't know, 70, 80 caps. Easily 50 odd caps because he's that good. But he's just behind Damien Dialende, one of the best ever to wear that jersey for the Boks. And arguably the best in the world right now. And there was a comment in the video the other day that said, honestly, Andre Esterhazen could make a top-tier flanker. And maybe that comment was from Jaco Johan. you never know, because, weirdly, it hardly got mentioned in comms as well that, hold on, Andre Esterhazen's playing flanker, but actually the Boks were playing that 1-3-3-1 pod system, and Esterhazen was out on the wing, so it wasn't a totally unfamiliar position to him, I guess. He might often in a game find himself out there. Let me just go through the players and just give a couple of thoughts as I go through. So Oxenche, solid game, solid defence, solid scrum, great. Malcolm Marks, did he look bigger even? He looks even bigger than the guy is. An absolute freak. Massive attack and defence. And Klabakanye, or Slabakanye, as some people have called him. Silky hands, solid job. Actually found, he was up against Cian Healy. And Cian Healy got into him a little bit at scrum time, which might be a little bit of a question mark. So, yeah, we'll have to see how the scrummaging goes. But he's just got lovely silky hands. He just has really good moments. Jean Klein, one of the few players to play 80 minutes in the pack. Big shift from him. Lou Diakam, one of the contenders for man of the match. He was one of the big positives for the Boks. So many carries, massive physicality, especially like round the fringes in the tight game. So he was huge. Marco van Staden, late replacement for Sia Khaleesi, and he was decent. Good on the ground. Menace in the breakdown and big defensive player. Tichuca, that was one of the big performances, wasn't it? One of the big positives. Attack and defence. He was awesome. Just taking names with some of the shots he was putting in. And this is the thing. When you've got that much depth and competition, then you have to be really good when you get the chance. Otherwise, you won't get another chance. And that's why the Barbars were always destined to get smoked in this one, because they're not... Yeah, the guys that are playing for the Boks are like, I don't care that it's the Barbarians and that they're a bit of a, not exhibition, that's the wrong way to put it, but they're, there's a different style you take to play in the Barbarians. No, I really, really want to be a Bok. And so you have to just go and crush your opposition, which is what Tichuca did. Jean-Luc Dupree did for 38 minutes until he got injured. Hope he's okay. It was Lou Diaga that like whacked into him as well, wasn't it? So a bit of friendly fire there. Quacker Smith having to come on. That was disappointing on two fronts. One, because Lou Diaga's waited for another opportunity and then he goes off injured. And secondly, because it meant we didn't get the spectacle of all 8 of the replacements coming on at the same time on 44 minutes. Mornay van den Berg, tough conditions for a scrum half. And the scrum half position is one of the toughest to know. Where's that going to be for the Boks? I don't know who the first choice, second choice, third choice. Is it going to be different players for different games, different conditions, different opponents? Mornay van den Berg did some nice things, but I thought life was tough. Sasha FM, my favourite radio station, kick charge down early and then just did. I mean, chef's kiss, some of the things Sasha can do in his hometown ground. He's just amazing. Kurtley Arendtse, great to have him back and that partnership back. And I would say the whole back line. So Mornay van den Berg, Sasha FM and Apelele Fassi, those are the 3 that are like, well, depending on how you want to play and who you're playing against, you could change those. But they were slotted in around Dialende and Creel and Colby and Arendtse, who were just all brilliant. They were all brilliant. Colby in particular was just amazing. I don't know who got man of the match, actually. It would be Tichuca or Colby or Lou Diaga. Those are the kind of 3 best performers I felt. But, yeah. It's Colby, for such a little man, being so good in the air. So good. And actually, Fassi was amazing in the air as well. Dialende, amazing attack and defence. And Creel continues to be maybe, even though he's a double World Cup winner, continues to be one of the most underrated players in world rugby. People just don't give him his dues. He's incredible. And the bench made a massive impact. Marnus van der Merwe, he did well enough to suggest he could get some minutes in an actual test match in the Rugby Championship. Esterhuizen, as I've mentioned, another little string to his bow. And Rassie keeping us guessing. Scrum half, Reinach was good when he came on. Who is going to emerge and be the Boks scrum half? Tell me in the comments. Let me know in the chat. I haven't got a clue. I haven't got a clue. And maybe one of the biggest positives of the whole day was Marnie Libbok nailing kicks from all over. Some people will say, yeah, but he's got to do it when it really, really counts, when the game is on the line, which it wasn't in this match. And that's a fair point. But nonetheless, he did what he could. So on to Italy, who are going to get smashed as well, I think. I think it's going to be a theme. And then Australia, and we'll wait and see what they're like. But yeah, tell me what you think. And again, well done to everyone that turned out in those horrendous non-Barbarians-like conditions for a bit of history. I'll see you on the next one.